What's going on, everybody? Today we are going to learn how to play Flash, track number 9 from the cartoon album, where things get pretty serious. And believe it or not, this is slightly down-tuned. It's in drop D. I don't even know if drop D technically counts as down-tuning, but whatever. Anyway, it kind of sounds like this. My wits about me still, and a glowing that surrounds me. In a flash I was here, in the bat of an eye I'll be gone just as quickly. So it's kind of a finger-picked thing, and again, it's on nylon originally, but we're doing it because of the inlays and stuff like that too. And basically, just like I said, drop D, so the low E string is tuned down to a D. And it starts with this kind of, you can think of it as a D suspended 2 shape, right? So I've got my middle finger on 2G and my pinky on 3B. And then what I'm doing is, I've got my thumb hitting that low D string, and then my pointer, middle, and ring finger are getting the DGB, kind of raking it off. Right? So it's kind of like, so it's a rake on the first time, then I'm going back up, G, D, and then, so it's kind of like the same movement, but in a slightly different timing pattern. Okay, so it's really hard to play with a pick. I'd really recommend fingerstyle for this one, but and then after this, I've got my middle finger on 2E. I was still gonna call it the E string, even though it's tuned to a D. So 2E, and ring finger is still on 2G. Well, it goes to 2G. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the 3rd fret, right? So we've got the first part with the D chord to 2. And again, it's kind of like, now my fingers are E, A, D, G. So I do one kind of arpeggio, just E, A, D, G, D. Then I'm going to hit the E string, slide to 3, hit the chord, and then the root again. So. Then I'm going to go. These are just octaves on a C, so 3A. Pinky, 5G, and I'm still getting the lowest 4 strings, right? So the same kind of strumming thing. The rake, back, E, A, D, G, D, A, and I'm gonna go a semitone down to a B. And then up here. Now this shape right here is pretty cool. I got my middle finger on the 8th fret of the E string, and my ring finger is on the G string still, but now, instead of having them in line, it's going down to the 9th fret. So, same kind of pattern. That's kind of like the groove of the song, right? And then after the first one, so at the end of the first one, I'm going my ring finger from 9 to my index finger to 7. So 1, right there, into, which is kind of like the melody of the song, right? So it's just everything's open, into 5G, so twice, 75, 7. Okay, so the whole thing again, the whole intro acoustic part. C part to B up here. Okay, and that kind of goes on a couple times in a row. And then eventually we get into this other part that goes up to here. It's kind of like an instrumental part, but anyways, if you think of just lining up that shape again, it's the 12th fret on low E string in E and G, 12. So 10 to 13, but we're raising that one a half step to 14, right? So 12 to 10 to a 13 with the raised one, then 12 to 10 to 7, and then back to that other chord we did here with the 8th fret, and then again where we changed this one. 5 to 7 again here. And the very last time, we're going to do the same thing that we did where we changed this. But instead of coming back to it, we're going to raise it. And what this does is it kind of creates a tension to get to the... So I think we're going to do that part on acoustic, even though this is like where the electric comes in, just to kind of keep it simpler. But yeah, basically, so the whole acoustic part, I'll go through one more time. It sounds like this. And then we get into the heavy drop D stuff. I'm actually going to use a pick for this one, because that's how we played it in the song. But yeah, basically, we've got a couple guitars going on. It's double tracked, and the first one is just very simple, heavy, awesome. I played this one on the Music Man, but it's all just kind of open drop D power bar chords. So it starts with open twice, or yeah, open twice and then a 12 twice. So and then 10 12, 10 12, and then we're gonna go open 3 3, open 3 5 3. Second time, it just goes 10 to 9. Now the other guitar is doing this. Which is essentially the same thing in just a different position to kind of get a different tone, I guess. And it's a little muted. So this is just the E string, which is a D, to the octave D, which is 5A. 3 5, and then open 3 3, open 3 5 3, and that's just a C to a B again. And then we get into the verse, which is essentially the same music and melody as the but played a little bit differently and sung an octave higher. So if that's something you're interested in, like songwriting wise, a cool thing to maybe build a dynamic is to start singing one melody in a lower register, and then as it's building, it can get higher, right? So the chords for that sound like this. It's just a regular D minor chord. So all I'm doing is I'm playing a D minor and pulling off the high E string, F to an E. So and then after that, I'm just kind of abandoning the chord. I've got an open string set except for 2B into 3, right? So D minor. The hum and the drum as we are descending, set in a motion that churn with no sign of ending. And then is, again, kind of the same thing as before. It's just this octave C again, but now it's kind of played a little more aggressively. To the B. Into the same thing as the first part. Okay, and again, that part is sung an octave higher too. It's like drill to the center. The bed of an eye will be gone just as quickly. And so it kind of builds like a dynamic, and then it goes back into the. And then after that, it's just kind of like a lengthy guitar solo that is kind of mimicking the emotion of the cartoon. So yeah, if you haven't seen the song, definitely check it out. I don't want to give any spoilers, but anyways, it's the 9th one out of 10. And anyways, if you have any questions, let me know. Until next time.